Welcome back, everyone. I am so excited to jump straight into today's explainer. We're decoding something really special, the exact step-by-step techniques a professional chef uses to make authentic Dhaba-style Punjabi chole maki dal. Because look, this isn't just about throwing some lentils in a pot and hoping for the best, right? It's about mastering the actual science and the specific culinary techniques that pro kitchens use to build that deep, rustic flavor. So grab your notepads, because we're going to learn how to cook exactly like the pros.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You follow a recipe at home, you simmer your dal, but somehow it just never quite packs that rich, smoky, complex punch you get from a roadside dhaba or a really good, authentic Indian restaurant. So why is that? Well, today's analysis is going to bridge that exact gap for you. It really comes down to structured techniques, precise timing, and honestly, a few absolutely brilliant prep secrets that just aren't usually shared with home cooks.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our menu for today's explainer. First, the prep secret. Then, the cooking secret. Third, pro chopping techniques. Fourth, building that first tadka. And finally, the final dhaba tempering.
So, starting right off with section 1, the prep secret, and cleaning the black urad dal.
Our foundation begins with 1 cup of thick black urad dal and half a cup of chana dal, split chickpeas. Now, it's absolutely crucial to use the thick variety of black urad dal here. Why? Because it has a way higher starch content, which is exactly what's going to give this dish that incredibly creamy, luxurious texture we want. But hold on, before we even think about cooking, we have to clean it. See, commercially sold black urad dal often has this dark, kind of artificial polish on the outside. To get that authentic, traditional, slightly faded color that you actually see in hotel kitchens, you've got to strip that polish right off. And here's the secret. You add a teaspoon of salt and the juice of 1 lemon directly to the dry dal. Then you literally just use your hands to vigorously rub the lentils together for about 2 to 3 minutes. The acidity of the lemon combined with the abrasiveness of the salt, it strips away that dark coating completely. After a good rub, just wash it 2 or 3 times until the water runs totally clear. It is a real game changer. Moving right along to section 2, the cooking secret. We're talking about mastering the pressure cooker. Okay, so after mixing your freshly cleaned black dal with the chana dal and soaking them for just a quick 10 minutes, you're going to add them to the cooker with a strict 5-to-1 water to dal ratio. Because of that super high starch content we talked about, we need a ton of water. So 1 cup of total dal means 5 cups of water. But, and this is key, we are not just boiling them in plain, boring water. We are building flavor from literally minute 1. Right into the pressure cooker goes a very specific list of aromatics. Crushed ginger and garlic, 2 bay leaves, 1 crushed black cardamom pod, some salt, a teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder for that beautiful, vibrant color, and a tiny pinch of turmeric. And hey, notice the emphasis on crushing the ginger and garlic instead of just slicing it? Crushing it actually ruptures the cell walls, which deeply infuses all those essential oils straight into the water right from the get-go. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the absolute most practical kitchen hacks I have ever seen. I mean, we all know the nightmare of a pressure cooker blowing starchy water all over the stove the second that whistle goes off, right? Well, to stop this, simply add 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil or desi ghee directly into the water before you even seal the cooker. The fat actually breaks the surface tension of the starchy water, which ensures it boils smoothly without exploding everywhere. Trust me, your stovetop and your sanity will thank you for this one. So once your pressure cooker is sealed and on the heat, you just wait for that very first whistle. The exact moment you hear it, you drop the flame all the way to low. And this is hard for some of us, you leave it completely undisturbed for exactly 30 minutes. No touching. This slow, super pressurized environment is exactly what breaks down those tough black lentils until they are literally melt in your mouth tender. Next up is section 3, pro chopping techniques, because precision absolutely matters. While our dal is doing its 30-minute magic on the stove, look, if you want to cook with the efficiency of a fast-paced dhaba kitchen, your knife skills really need to be on point. Precision chopping is what ensures your base masala cooks evenly and quickly. Now, for onions, you make deep vertical and horizontal cuts, but the real trick here is using what they call soft hands to gently hold the onion together as you slice. That gives you a perfectly even, fine dice. For tomatoes, it's a little different. The absolute first step is to use the tip of your knife to carve out the eye, or, the core of the tomato. Why do we care? Because that hard center point is incredibly tough. It totally refuses to cook down and melt into your masala. Taking it out guarantees a perfectly smooth base. After that, you just make deep vertical cuts down to the base without actually separating the halves, which lets you get a rapid, superfine chop. Always apply refined oil to your hands before chopping green chilies. Just a few drops of oil create this amazing protective barrier on your skin, stopping the capsaicin from burning your fingers. And way more importantly, it saves you from the absolute agony of accidentally rubbing your eyes an hour later. We've all done it. It is a simple, pain-saving prep step, so for sure, never skip it. Moving to section 4, building the first tadka. And folks, timing is everything here. Making a perfect tadka isn't just about tossing ingredients into a hot pan willy-nilly. It's a really strict exercise in precise timing and careful heat control. So the crucial point is how we manage the flame throughout this entire timeline. You're going to start on a medium flame with your oil, dropping in broken, dried red chilies, cumin seeds, and finely chopped garlic. You want to let that garlic slowly change color to release its natural sweetness. Next, you add your chopped onions and boom, crank that flame right up to high. You'll stir constantly until they just begin to change color. Once those onions hit a nice golden brown, you drop the heat right back down and add your finely chopped ginger and green chilies. Why drop the heat? Well, because if you overcook ginger and green chilies on a high heat, they instantly turn bitter and will literally ruin your entire base. Nobody wants that. Finally, you go ahead and add your tomatoes and powdered spices. After tossing in the tomatoes, along with a spoonful of salt to help them break down faster, plus your turmeric, Kashmiri chili powder, and coriander powder, you cook the whole mixture for about 5 to 7 minutes. And here, you are looking for a very specific visual cue: oil separation. This is essentially the holy grail indicator of doneness in Indian cooking. You absolutely must cook this masala until the oil visibly releases and starts bubbling around the edges of the pan. That visual tells you the raw, harsh flavor of the tomatoes and spices is completely gone. Honestly, your base is only ready to meet the boiled dal once it has fully yielded its oil like this. Okay, let's see how this all comes together. Once your base is perfectly cooked, you pour in your nicely boiled dal directly from the pressure cooker. Give it a really thorough mix, and then let those two components simmer together for another 5 to 7 minutes. This is crucial because it allows the lentils to soak up all that rich masala flavor. Now, if you find that all that starch has made the dal a bit too thick, you can definitely adjust the consistency here. But, and this is important, make sure you only add hot water, okay? Actually, scratch that. Boiling water is best, just so you don't drop the cooking temperature of the pan. Finally, finish the whole thing off with a generous handful of fresh coriander and a nice sprinkle of garam masala for that perfect aromatic lift. And now we reach section 5, the final daba tempering, the legendary double chunk. Guys, this is the absolute climax of our dish. It's the ultimate secret for that authentic restaurant finish we've been chasing. Now, this step happens incredibly fast, so pay close attention. In a small tempering pan, melt 1 tablespoon of pure desi ghee. The exact moment it gets hot, toss in half a teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder for that gorgeous vibrant red hue, and half a teaspoon of roasted kasuri methi, which are dried fenugreek leaves. Give it a swirl for just a split second so the spices bloom, but definitely don't burn, and then immediately, and I mean immediately, pour that sizzling, beautiful mixture directly over your simmering dal. And then, step 4, the most important one, cover the pot instantly. Seriously, I cannot emphasize this enough. Trap the smoke, trap the flavor. Stealing that pot immediately after the hot ghee hits the wet dal, think about it. When that superheated fat hits the liquid, it creates this microscopic cloud of spiced steam and smoke. If you just leave the pot open, all that incredible aroma just floats right up into your kitchen exhaust fan. What a waste. By slamming the lid shut, you literally force that aromatic, smoky essence deep back into the lentils. You just let it sit there for a minute or two, absorbing all that absolute magic, before you finally open it up and give it a stir. So, what does this all mean? Well, it means the big question is, are you ready to bring the authentic secrets of the daba into your own kitchen tonight? We have completely stripped away the mystery today, from that vigorous lemon salt rub to the brilliant oil hack in the pressure cooker, right down to the precise heat control of that sizzling double tadka. You now have the structured knowledge of a true professional kitchen. It's really just all about applying these clear step-by-step techniques. Get in there, get cooking, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.